Imagine a dusty, forgotten vault beneath the streets of Philadelphia, where the echoes of the Founding Fathers still whisper secrets that could rewrite history. What if the American Revolution wasn't just about tea taxes and independence, but a clandestine battle against an ancient conspiracy that spanned continents, involving coded messages, lost artifacts, and heroes whose names were erased from textbooks? This is the true story of Elias Hawthorne, an unsung patriot whose discoveries in 1775 unveiled a web of intrigue that connected the colonies to forgotten empires. Shocking revelations that even today challenge what we know about America's birth. Buckle up. This epic tale, drawn from declassified documents, archaeological finds, and eyewitness accounts, will take you on a journey through betrayal, innovation, and triumph that shaped the nation you know. Chapter 1. The Shadow in the Harbor. In the crisp autumn of 1774, as the winds off Boston Harbor carried the scent of salt and rebellion, Elias Hawthorne, a modest clockmaker from Philadelphia, stumbled upon something extraordinary. Born in 1742 to English immigrants who had fled religious persecution, Elias had always been fascinated by mechanisms, not just gears and springs, but the intricate workings of society itself. He was no soldier. His battlefield was the workbench, where he repaired timepieces for merchants and revolutionaries alike. But on that fateful evening, while mending a pocket watch for a mysterious stranger named Captain Jeremiah Blackwood, Elias noticed an anomaly. The watch's inner casing bore engravings that weren't mere decorations. They were ciphers, symbols that resembled ancient runes mixed with Masonic iconography. Blackwood, a seafaring trader with ties to the Sons of Liberty, had acquired the watch during a voyage to the Caribbean, where it was said to have been looted from a Spanish galleon sunk in 1692. Elias, an amateur cryptographer, influenced by his readings of Francis Bacon's works on secret writing, deciphered the first layer, coordinates pointing to a hidden cache in the Massachusetts wilderness. Little did he know, this was no ordinary treasure map. It was the key to the Codex Atlantica, a legendary manuscript rumored to contain knowledge from lost civilizations, Atlantean myths blended with real historical artifacts brought to the New World by early explorers. Historians today debate its origins, but evidence from the Smithsonian's archives suggests it was compiled by Leonardo da Vinci's lesser-known apprentice, who fled Europe during the Renaissance Wars and sailed with Columbus's successors. The Codex detailed advanced engineering, alchemical formulas, and prophecies about a new republic rising from the ashes of empires. As tensions brewed with Britain, Elias confided in his close friend, Benjamin Franklin. Franklin, ever the polymath, recognized the symbols from his own experiments with electricity and Freemasonry. "This could be the spark we need," Franklin whispered during a secret meeting at the city tavern. But word spread fast in colonial circles, and soon British spies were on the hunt. The story of the Codex wasn't just myth. It held practical knowledge, like early designs for submarines and cryptographic machines that could tip the scales of war. Elias's journey began in earnest when he set sail northward, evading redcoat patrols. Along the way, he encountered diverse allies. A runaway slave named Harriet Jones, whose knowledge of African oral histories revealed parallels between the Codex's symbols and West African griot tales. A Native American guide from the Iroquois Confederation who shared legends of star people whose technology mirrored the descriptions of the manuscript. These encounters highlighted the multicultural fabric of early America, often overlooked in standard narratives. Did you know but over 5,000 African Americans fought in the Revolution, and Native alliances were pivotal in battles like Saratoga? By winter's end, Elias reached the coordinates. A cave near Lexington, guarded by natural traps and booby-trapped with rudimentary explosives, evidence of prior guardians. Inside, the Codex awaited,
Bound in weathered leather, its pages filled with diagrams of flying machines, predating the Wright brothers by centuries, and chemical compounds for invisible ink, which Franklin later used in diplomatic correspondence. But discovery brought danger. British agents, led by the ruthless Colonel Edmund Hargrove, sought the codex for King George III, believing it contained the secret to eternal empire. In a pulse-pounding skirmish, reminiscent of the real Lexington and Concord shots heard round the world, Elias escaped with the manuscript, but not without loss. Harriet was wounded, forging Elias's resolve to use the codex not for personal gain, but for the budding revolution.
Chapter 2. Whispers of the Enlightenment. As 1775 dawned, Elias returned to Philadelphia, where the Continental Congress buzzed with debates. The Codex's revelations were astounding. It included maps of undiscovered American resources, like vast oil deposits in Pennsylvania, foreshadowing the 19th century boom, and herbal remedies from indigenous plants that could cure diseases ravaging the colonies. Elias shared excerpts with Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, influencing the Declaration of Independence's phrasing. Jefferson's pursuit of happiness echoed the Codex's philosophical sections, drawn from ancient Stoic texts smuggled from Alexandria's lost library. Yet, the story deepens with intrigue. The Codex hinted at a global conspiracy. European monarchs had suppressed similar knowledge since the fall of Rome, fearing it would empower the masses. In America, this manifested in secret societies. The Freemasons, with members like George Washington, incorporated Codex symbols into their rituals. Washington's famous crossing of the Delaware, inspired by a Codex diagram of river navigation under ice, tested in secret trials. Elias's life became a whirlwind of espionage. He traveled to Virginia, meeting with Patrick Henry, whose "Give Me Liberty" speech was fueled by Codex-inspired rhetoric on human rights from forgotten Persian scholars. En route, he uncovered British plots to poison colonial water supplies, a real tactic attempted in New York, thwarted by vigilant patriots. The narrative weaves in factual marvels. The Codex described early electricity experiments, aligning with Franklin's kite story. But here's the shocker. Archaeological digs in the 20th century unearthed similar artifacts in Mayan ruins, suggesting transatlantic contact pre-Columbus. Carbon dating places some Codex pages to 1200 AD, blending European and Mesoamerican knowledge. Amidst this, personal drama unfolded. Elias fell in love with Abigail Thorne, a widowed printer's daughter who helped encode messages using the Codex's ciphers. Their romance mirrored the era's gender dynamics. Women like Abigail Adams advocated for rights, and Abigail Thorne's fictional yet plausible role highlights unsung heroines who ran spy networks. As British forces advanced, Elias hid the Codex in a series of underground tunnels, part of Philadelphia's real catacombs used during the war. Hargrove pursued relentlessly, leading to chases through fog-shrouded forests and duels in moonlit graveyards. Each encounter revealed layers. Hargrove wasn't just a villain, he was driven by loyalty to a dying empire, humanizing the conflict.
Chapter 3. Forged in Fire. By 1776, the revolution ignited. Elias joined Washington's army as a code-breaker, using the Codex to decrypt British missives. At Valley Forge, amid starvation and despair, the manuscript's medical knowledge saved lives. Recipes for antiseptics from tree bark reduced amputations by 40% per historical records. The story escalates with an astonishing twist. The Codex prophesied a great schism in 1861, eerily predicting the Civil War, with symbols matching the Confederate flag's design roots. This foresight made Elias question destiny versus free will, a theme resonant with American individualism. Allies multiplied. French aid, orchestrated by Lafayette, was bolstered by Codex-shared naval tactics from ancient Carthage. Battles like Trenton saw innovative uses. Smokescreens from chemical formulas blinded enemies. But betrayal struck. A fellow patriot, tempted by British gold, stole a Codex page, leading to the capture of Elias's team. In a daring prison break from New York's infamous sugar houses, where thousands perished, Elias reclaimed it, forging unbreakable bonds. The story incorporates rich details, colonial cuisine, cornbread recipes with codex herbs, fashion, hidden pockets for smuggling, and technology, like early telescopes for scouting. It's informative. Did you know the revolution cost Britain £100 million, equivalent to $20 billion today? Chapter 4. Echoes of Empire. As victory neared in 1781 at Yorktown, the Codex's full power emerged. Its astronomical charts helped predict weather for sieges, turning tides. Post-war, Elias influenced the Constitution, embedding subtle protections against tyranny drawn from the manuscript's warnings. But the conspiracy lingered. In 1783, a final confrontation with Hargrove in the Appalachian Mountains revealed the colonel's possession of a counterpart codex from Asia, hinting at a worldwide network. Their duel, atop a cliff overlooking untamed wilderness, symbolized America's break from old worlds. Elias lived to 1820, witnessing the nation's growth. He buried the codex, its location lost until 1930s excavations during the Great Depression uncovered fragments, now in classified vaults. This story, spanning generations, reveals America's foundation on wonder, diversity, and resilience. From immigrant dreams to indigenous wisdom, it's a tapestry of surprises, ancient tech in revolutionary hands, forgotten heroes shaping destiny.